Y'all, this video has been so hard for me to make and post, but here I am, and this is my truth. I've been through a lot, and I'm not sharing this to play victim. I'm sharing it to take accountability and to thank God for growth, healing, and truth. So this is my second time recording this, actually. But, okay, so starting off in my childhood as a child, probably like 7 or 8 years old, or yeah, 7 or 8. I just wanted to put this part in because it is important and you'll see why later. But we used to live in apartments when I was just a baby on up until I was about 5. And then we ended up moving kind of close to my grandmother's house. So yeah, this is where everything went left. So okay, I used to help my dad like just build things. He was like a carpenter, and he would just like build sheds, side decks. Like he built a whole bunch of stuff throughout his life, and he ended up getting me to help him out when I was little. So that became a job for me, like my thing that I had with my dad. So yeah, so let me get rid of this gum. Hold on. Yeah, paper towel. Okay. So okay. But yeah, so okay, that's my early childhood, you know, just working with my dad, that type of relationship. My mom, we really didn't have the best relationship for real. Neither really did my dad for real. I'll get into that in a minute, but okay, my mom was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I didn't know about that until I was about maybe 9 or 10. But later on, I found out that she was diagnosed with that when she was about, I'm just gonna say in her 20s. So she got diagnosed with schizophrenia in her 20s, and yeah, so I just remember her just having like little episodes, just flipping out all the time, just saying things off the wall. A lot of people couldn't understand her. I know she probably felt alone, but at the same time, it's like nobody really could understand. It's like everybody was trying to get her help, you know, get her to go to the doctor, and she just didn't know why. She didn't want to go to the doctor. She didn't see a problem within herself, so it was like a very hard time to get her to go. So I remember one time where I was down at my grandmother's house, and all of a sudden I just heard a whole bunch of screaming and stuff, and she was just crying, and I guess they were trying to get her to go to the doctor, and I guess she started walking down back to her house because we lived a couple of doors down from my grandmother's house. And all I remember was just saying by my auntie was like, your mom's sick, you gonna have to take care of her. Mind you, I'm a child. This coming from an adult telling a child that, like, I don't know. But anywho, so yeah, ever since then, I just been observant. Like, I just been, you know, trying to get to know what was going on with her, like just trying to help any kind of way that I could as a child growing up. I remember her having a seizure. I remember just, I don't know, just her staring off at the wall. Like, you can tell that she was in her head just thinking. And then there was times where she would just be sitting in her room just out of nowhere just crying, and I would always try to, you know, uplift her, just trying to see what was she crying about, you know, like trying to get an understanding. Like, I don't know, I was very communicative with my mother. It was like she would just shut down, or she would try to hide her tears, or she would try to make things seem okay when they wasn't clear as day. They wasn't, but she would never tell me why that she was crying. Mind you, this was like, it was like frequently when she would just cry, like throughout the day. Like, she would go in her room, just sit in her room and just cry. And I understand people be needing that time to, you know, process the things in their heads or what they've been through in life. You know, I understand it, but it was like I was really trying to be there, and she felt like she didn't help nobody. So, I mean, I don't know. But that was kind of like my relationship with my mom growing up. My dad really didn't know how to deal with it himself. I think my dad was very much like emotional, like just not there. Like, I don't think he knew how to deal with his emotions or knew how to go about things with certain situations. So he just stayed silent to a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, so it was like very hard in my household, like just people not saying anything. Like, if it wasn't like just her having an episode or just flipping out, because I used to I used to get shots from my mom, like, not like, well, my mom used to like take shots at me, like used to talk down on me, and I understand like some of the stuff she may not knew what she was saying, but there was times that I knew what she was saying, what she was trying to say, or what she was trying to do, and it was like it was taking a toll on me. Like, I don't know, they kind of messed with my confidence, and just, I don't know, like, I already didn't have my mom, so there was like, I don't know, they did something to me, and then just her talking down on me, even though I was trying to be there for her. It was like, darn, like, I don't know, what am I doing wrong as a child at this point? And I couldn't go to my dad because, I mean, he didn't say anything. So I don't know, like, like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know what adult to go to at that point. Like, and then my sister, she was here at the time, but okay, let me go back a little bit. So, living in the house with everybody, my mom, my dad, and my sister while she was here. So the time when my sister was younger and I was like a baby or whatever, because we 8 years apart, I feel like my sister, she had the relationship with my mother, and well, with our mom. I'm so used to saying, we both of us saying my dad, my mom, I don't know, we both grew up saying it, but later on, now I can understand the difference. Like, she got the better half of our mother, and I got the bad end of our mother. So it's like us saying my mother, it is kind of like a difference. Like, I don't know how to put that. Like, we got the same mother, so, but we both got different takes of our mother, like the emotional side, like her being here and her not being here mentally. So yeah, I had to explain. I put a clip of what I'm actually saying, talking about whatever, so you can get it. But anywho, and I'm trying to speed through this because, like I said, I did this and I cried throughout the whole entire thing. So I had to redo this. So I'm trying to just like flow through it now at this point. So, okay, living in a house with my sister, she basically pretty much got the better half of our mother. She was in the right state of mind. Like, I think at that time she was taking her medicine. Like, she didn't have no problem of, you know, just going to the doctor and taking her medicine and stuff. So it was kind of like a good relationship there. And our dad was more open to speaking and stuff because, I mean, everything was fine at that point. So yeah, and then I guess when I started to grow up, this is when the mental switch came on. Like, she wasn't mentally and physically there, like, as a mother, like doing the motherly duties. I had good times with my mom when I was much younger. Back when we lived in apartments before moving into a house a couple of doors down from my grandmother's house, that's when things slowly began to change. Back then, my mother and her mom didn't have the best relationship because some of her siblings would do things growing up and then blame her for them. They would lie on her, and even though she stood up for herself and refused to take the blame, her mom still didn't believe her. As a result, she received most of the punishments. Over time, this damaged the relationship between her and her mother and caused a lot of chaos and conflict between them. My sister told me this first, and then I later confirmed it with my mother when she got well. I believe them because the same people are still causing conflict throughout the family. They like to hide the things they say and do, but act nice in front of others. And yeah, like, everything just clicked. Like, everything switched. So I pretty much got the bad half of parenting. So yeah, like, I remember there was times where I would try to like help her do things, like, because I mean, at times she wouldn't do them at all because, I mean, she would just always be in a room, or she would just be out of it at this point. Like, so I tried to, you know, do the dishes, do laundry, you know, I try to clean up, but every time, like, every little thing, it was just like, I guess, getting to her or whatever. Like, every little thing I was doing trying to help, it would make her mad. Like, I don't know if it was a trigger, I don't know if it was something traumatic, something brought back memories, like, I don't know, like, I really don't know. Like, it was a lot of things that I would try to help her do, and it was just like, I don't know. Like, I used to try to have her cook at times when she was feeling okay, you know, because it was times where she would like go to the doctor like at some point of my life, and then there was times where she stopped taking her medicine, she was just back out of it. So if you see me going back and forth with situations and encounterments with my mom, it's because she was off and on her medicine throughout my life. So yeah. So yeah, I used to get whoopings for no reason. Like, I clearly didn't know the reason. And from the times that I should have got a whipping, like just doing stuff, I didn't get no whipping. Like, I don't know, like, as I got into my teenage years, I did like When I became a teenager, I was starting to be a rebel. I remember I used to like talk to boys and sometimes sneak them in the house, and yeah, so that was my little thing growing up. Like, I didn't have nobody, so I seek love and attention through the people that I was in a relationship with. So yeah, and this was after the fact that my sister had moved out. So yeah, it was just me, my mom, and dad. Well, okay, so let me go back a little bit because of the sister part. So I really didn't have the best relationship with my sister either. So it was like we would always get into arguments and fights all the time. Like, I don't know, I would always try to hang out with her, try to, you know, being the younger sister, like, I was always bored. Like, I didn't have nothing to do. Like, mind you, at the time she had a computer, so I would always try to come in here and get on a computer, or I would always try to come in here and play cards with her. Like, it was just, I don't know, I was just trying to have fun. Like, at this point, like, I don't have nobody to talk to at this point. Like, I'm in a house full of people that don't even get each other at this point. Like, I don't know, like at this point I'm observing everything. Like, I'm aware of what's going on. I'm aware of what's, like, of the people, like their personality traits and their characteristics at this point. So yeah, like, my sister, she has a bad temper. Like, it was at times like when she was mad and I didn't know she was mad, and she was like try to take it out on me, like just shut me out or whatever, and I'm just trying to show her love or just trying to be around her, and it was like like she would always shut me out, or she would just be mean to me. And then when she's good, she's like wanting to, you know, be around me or want me to do this, want me to do that. Like, I don't know, I feel like she was kind of using me, but I don't know, maybe that was like a teenager thing, like her just having that, I don't know, like, what's it called, that teenager mentality or whatever. Just, so I don't know if it was puberty or what, but every time she was mad, she was just, I'll get it. And then I knew to mess with my sister when she was doing good, and then versus when she was mad, because when she's mad, and when she's happy. Like, she's more active with me, like want to be around me or whatever. But I don't know. Let me see, when I got to middle school, this is when I think my sister had already graduated. Yeah, she had already graduated at that point because we're 8 years apart. So I guess this is the time where she started to date or whatever. So okay, her boyfriend had moved in. This is the time where I was just feeling kind of iffy, because it was like, I don't want to say too much, but at the same time, like, I just didn't feel as comfortable around him. And like, I used to hear stories all the time because he would always go to my uncle's house, and I used to hear stories all the time from my uncle saying that, what he said basically about me, saying that when I grow up I'm gonna be a hoe, or I'm just, my morals basically is gonna not be there. Like, I'm just gonna be all over the place. Mind you, I was very young at this time. I had to be no more than 11 or 12, and I barely spoke to him when he was in the house. Most of the time it was just him saying slick comments about me at times. I could never figure out why he would say those things, but now that I think about it, I felt like someone had to be feeding him those illusions about me, because how can someone say things like that about a child unless it came from someone who didn't like me? It really makes you think. Which, come to find out, it was him that does all of that. But anywho, and I remember him making comments about my body. Like, he always would make it weird just being around him. Like, I really couldn't stand it. And this was like an outfit on thing growing up, like basically just being around him and him making comments and stuff like that. So yeah. So okay, when they moved out and I got into high school, I'll say 9th grade. So yeah, 9th grade. Basically, when I started to, okay, that summer, about to go to the 9th grade. So this is the time where, mind you, my mom didn't let me around none of my family for real, because she never explained why, but later on when I got older, I knew and why. But back then I never knew why she didn't want me to be around my family. I didn't understand like what was going on, what was the issue. So during middle school time is when she started to let me out for real, like start to go over like other people besides my grandmother's house, but other people's houses, like my auntie. So and this is when she was kind of like still sick, but there, like, it was like iffy. So she started to let me go over my auntie house, and this is when I started to hang around my cousin. And like, I don't know, like back then I didn't really see it, but their process. Like, okay, it hit me when basically graduation, or really a little bit before then. It's like when I started to get to know them, like how they really were. Like they a little grimy. They grimy. They the grimiest ones in the family. And what I mean by that is they will play like they like you, or trying to be nice, trying to get something out of you, just to turn around and talk about you behind your back, make up stuff, make up lies about you, and then play it off as if they never said anything. But this is how they've been fooling a lot of people in the family, and they just keep a lot of chaos and stuff going, basically. People will get into arguments with them, and then the next time they see each other, it's like nothing ever happened. This is how they've been doing things with everybody, and I'm the only one just got fed up with this stuff, because that's just childish to me at this point. Like, yeah, they still do that. It's like a control thing that they're looking for, and it just didn't work with me. It works with everybody else, but not with me. So anywho, I started to be around them, and this is when I first met my first boyfriend. So yeah, this is when basically I got sexually assaulted. And yeah, so that took place. It was like a very, I don't want to say it was a very dark moment in my life, but because I played it off at that time, like I act like nothing happened, because I knew that this cousin and this auntie like to talk and spread everybody's business, so I just kept quiet. I dealt with that situation in private, but nobody never really knew. How it happens, like, I don't know, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, I got sexually assaulted, and like everything that took place in my life, it always happened around these people, like this cousin and sometimes this auntie. Like, yeah, but not trying to blame anybody for my own doings. This is just how things actually played out in my life. And now that I see things for what it was, and just basically gaining a relationship with God, it's basically just being around evildoers. Anywho, after that, I just became sexually active. Like, at that point, I just wanted to do it all the time. So basically, when I heard the story before, like when you basically get sexually assaulted, you're either shut down or you're going to continue to do that. And I was that. In other words, I didn't let that consume me. I didn't let that be a mental thing for me, because like I said, I was already going through a lot with not having my parents and let alone a sister. I didn't have nobody to talk to. So at that point, I just continued life. I looked at it as no problem because I had already been through a lot. So yeah, you would think that would be a lot for me, but it wasn't. I'm literally a tough cookie. I mostly get through anything. Like I said, I make everything look good. You would never know. You would have never known that I've been through anything, basically. And that's how I knew God kept me. So yeah, I just continue life. I ain't never told nobody until I want to say last year, maybe. Yeah, last year. No, maybe it was. Actually, I think it was earlier this year when I first said something. So I've been holding that in forever. But okay, so after that, I was sexually active. I was just having sex with the people that I was in a relationship with, and some wasn't. It was like when I was doing wrong in a relationship, I would just find like a friend just to talk to help me out of that, their relationship. So basically just getting over that person, basically. So it was like a friend with benefits type thing. But yeah, so basically saying just not with anybody. I was cautious with who I was around and who I did it with. Like, so back then I hung out with more boys than females. I tried to make friends with females, but they was just always grimy and doing me wrong, basically. If I wasn't grimy like them or trying to do people wrong, then I couldn't fit in, basically. So I learned to make friends with who I could, which was boys. Yeah, so I was very sexually active at a young age, and I want to say I was 14 years old, going on 15, because it was like late summer. Like, I want to say it was almost like a couple of months, maybe a month or two before we went back to school. So I have a late birthday, and we went to school back in August. So yeah, so it was kind of like 14 going on 15. But yeah, after all of that happened, so I'm officially in high school now. Trying to think. I remember I used to sign out of school when I became not a freshman, a sophomore. So when I was a sophomore, at that point, I went through a lot. Like I said, I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have my sister. Like, I don't know, a lot of things was said about me, like, growing up. Like, that's when a lot of stuff I was just talked about, especially by my aunties. So let me go back a little bit on my aunties. So I got aunties, basically. they would always used to talk about me, talk about my body, how it looked, how it was shaped. Like, I don't know, like, it was always, like, it just seemed like my aunties was just always intimidated by me. Like, every time I would step in a room, they would always had something to say about me. Every time I stepped inside the room, it was like they always had something to say about me. And I couldn't figure out why they was always talking about me. Like, I ain't never done nothing wrong or to them or whatever. I was always kind. I'm kind to everybody. Like, I show love all the time. Like, anybody that I come in contact with. So, very respectful. Mind you, I'm a child at this point, and them just basically trying to dominate me, like, take control, like, just want to talk down on me just to make themselves feel better, because it is exactly what it seemed like they was doing. Like, they would get a kick, or it just boosted their egos or self-esteem for some reason. I don't know, but yeah. And if I tried to say something back, they would always try to say that, am I talking back to an adult, or am I getting smart and stuff? You know, that them sayings that adults usually say after the fact that they done talk down on somebody or trying to make fun of, and basically kids done caught on to what they was doing and saying. Just manipulation, basically. Yeah, I couldn't understand why they still like that to this day, but I couldn't understand why they was just always grimy the way they was. And yeah, like, I don't know, it'd be times where they would try to be nice, or they would come over like trying to come with gifts or like little snacks or whatever. Like, when I say gifts, it'd be like snacks or whatever. So yeah, they would try to be nice. Then there was like only one auntie that did that. The other one never really did anything for me. She just basically the user. She would just take, never do anything for me. I don't know about anybody else, but never for me. And yeah, I did things for everybody in the family. So, and I never, wanted anything back, because I did everything from the kindness of my heart. But it did like get to a time where I did ask for certain things from them, and it would be like the bare minimum type things that I would ask, or sometimes I would ask just to see if they would do it. And like I said, the answers, well, let me calm down, but the little stuff that I would ask for, it was just like the bare minimum, and it was like they could do it. Like, it was always an excuse, or just something out of the blue, like something came up, or little excuses. So, and this is for a majority of the people that I did stuff for. It was like they could never do nothing for me, but they would do everything for everybody else. And it just kind of, made me a little mad. Like, not mad in a sense, but did something to my emotions. But yeah, this is how I'm still treated to this day. Like, I said things to them, like why they could never do nothing for me. They could never answer that, or they would try to say that they do stuff for me, but they can never name nothing they ever done for me. So yeah, this is the reason why I had to really just distance myself, on top of all the lies and chaos and stuff. So yeah, what else? My hygiene. They would always try to talk about my hygiene. Mind you, I didn't have my parents, and I didn't have my sister, so it was very common sense to see that, I had to have somebody to actually, show me, or, tell me certain things about being a girl, period, in general. It was very common sense to, see that I didn't have nobody for real, no adult really in my life. My sister had already moved out, so yeah, it was just me. And as I stated earlier, I didn't have the best relationship with my sister. Like, we never really hung out before. We never really just talked. We didn't start a relationship until I was about, I want to say at least about 24 or 25 years old. So yeah, you can only imagine that, going through things throughout my life with basically nobody for real. But yeah, like, I knew the basics, like taking a shower and stuff, and using certain things, because I really had sensitive skin, and just really just learning off of YouTube, because I was a YouTube child. I grew up on YouTube, so I learned a lot of stuff off of YouTube, and that's what it was. And I know that I had sweated a little more than others, so it was like special deodorants and stuff that I needed to use and didn't know at the time. So yeah, so a lot of stuff that's like that, I really didn't know. Like, I needed help finding the right things, basically. So yeah, so I don't know why they couldn't understand it. Like, it was common sense. Like, everybody ain't got common sense, but that happened a lot. I remember they would always try to be nice to me just to get something out of me, and then after I done it, they would always try to talk about me at the end, or act like they used me at the end. Like, just like I said, grimy stuff. Or they would always try to team up and be like, let's use Ashley, because I remember one time they had called yeah, some of the stuff is really my fault just being there, but at the same time, I'm a lover. Like, I show love. Like, I show up to people how I want to be treated. Like, I ain't have nobody. Like, I was trying to show and cater how I wanted to be treated to other people, and I just never got that back. So yeah, like, I don't know, maybe I was just showing it to the wrong people. It just felt like I was around a lot of people that just wanted control, like wanted to manipulate me, wanted to, you know, project on me, to lie on me, because it was very easy for them to do that. So yeah, like, I really just couldn't understand this, like, coming from adults. But a lot of adults really don't grow up, for real. And not to say that they wasn't, but I mean, it showed. So yeah, this is the truth for me. But anywho, what else? Okay, so I'm in high school now. So okay, my abusive relationship. So yeah, I got into this real abusive relationship. Now, we dated for, I want to say, at least 5 years. So this relationship started when I was 17 and ended all the way up until I was between 20 and 21. So yeah. And the first 2 years was good, and it just started going downhill the next 3. So I remember him used to come over to, you know, my house, and we would always just have fun. We would always, you know, just, you know, talk or play games. Or my mom would, at that time, my mom was kind of like in the right state of mind, so she would always just take us out places and just do stuff, like just having fun. Like, she saw him as a good person at the time. So yeah, after the first 2 good years, it got crazy. So he had a job, and by the time I had graduated, I still didn't have no job, basically. And at this time, he started to talk down on me. He was like, you need to get a job, and you need to go ahead and get your car and stuff. It's basically you need to get on your stuff, basically. And I'm like, the whole time I'm looking at him like, you don't even have a car. Like, you might got a job, but you ain't got a car. Like, why are you pressing me for it? But anywho, so I remember getting a job, and like, I was stacking all my money, you know, just saving it so I can get a car. Because at that point, he done motivated me. At this point, like, everything that people said to me, I took it as a challenge, like, just, you know, better myself. Because basically, when people tell you certain things, it's usually true to a certain extent. So you take what, you know, what resonates with you, was actually true, was actually correct, versus what's not. So at that point, I was just taking my bread, basically. And I finally got a car. Mind you, I only had a permit. I didn't know how to drive. I was scared. So at that time, I think, yeah, I let him drive my car off the lot, and his mom co-signed for me. So yeah. But yeah, I didn't know how to drive. So at this point, he was just driving my car, like, every weekend. Like, I think, yeah, every weekend, basically, because he was working and I was working through the week, and the weekends I was off and he was off, so it kind of messed up. So yeah, we would always drive like different places and stuff like that. And it got to the point where he started to be abusive. Like, at this point, I just saw it as jealousy, because he was just talking down. If I got one thing, he was trying to say I need something else. Like, it was always something else. It became, I need an apartment, I need this, I need that. Like, mind you, he didn't have none of it. Like, he was in the same boat as me. Like, I had, mind you, at that time when he was becoming abusive, he had lost his job. So yeah, he was really angry at that time. So yeah, like, so I had a little bit more than him, but I didn't see it as that, because I mean, like I said, he was driving my car, I was out having fun. Like, I didn't see it as no issue, but it became a jealousy, and I saw that. So I remember him coming over here, and he was just making up stuff, and he ended up hitting me dead in my face, like punching me in my face. So I ended up hitting him back, because I'm not gonna let that slide. Like, I got that much sense. Like, no, like, all I heard was my dad in the next room. He was like, they in that fight, and I guess he heard like the punches or smacking or whatever, or the talking, what we were saying or whatever. So my mom came in there. Mind you, he didn't come in there. He didn't say nothing to me. He didn't say nothing to him. He didn't try to stop it. He basically sent my mother in my room, basically. So she was the only one who did something. So yeah, at that point, I didn't feel protected. I didn't feel like, I don't know, like, I just didn't have real security around me, like protection, love, everything like a parent's supposed to be. Like, I don't know, like, at that time, my mom had the sense to come in my room to stop it. And yeah, at that point I had stopped talking to him for a few months, and after that he was like just sending a lot of messages and apologies and stuff like that. And oh yeah, when my mom had came into my room, she saw me throwing the last lick, and she ended up saying that it was me. She tried to get onto me, and it was really him that hit me, was with the anger issues and stuff like that, and she basically took his side. So I remember just really mad that day. Like, my feelings just got so hurt. I was so emotional. It was like, I went through a lot when I was a child, a teenager, my whole life. It just seemed like I got blamed for a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of people that couldn't take accountability for their own doings, and they decided to blame me for it. So at this point, it just seemed like I was attracting the same type of people that was already in my life, like the ones that had traumatic issues and a lot of things that went on in their life that they just never got healing or got past, and they was just projecting it on me. Like, you can tell, because like I took a lot of stuff in. Like, I just let a lot of stuff happen. I never spoke up because, I mean, I was never taught to. And yeah, like, my whole life, it was like, it was either, because they would always try to control me and bully me. Like, if I said something, they was ready to hit me, or I was, you know, talking back at an adult. Like, and mind you, these adults was lying. So like I said, I just look at these adults as kids. A lot of the adults in my family really never got true healing, never grew, just a lot of immature stuff. But so yeah, he ended up going home. I didn't talk to him for a few months, and we ended up reconnecting again. I took him back because I really did love him at that time, and at the time I just saw it as he was my first love, like a person that I really cared for. Like, yeah, I really didn't know what love was, and it just seemed like I started to, like I said before, I attract that kind of love what I already had in my life, what seemed to be love to me, which was basically getting treated like shit. So yeah, if it wasn't from my family, it was from the people that I dated. So I didn't really see no difference, or what love could look like, or what it should look like. So yeah, and like I stated before, my mom really never let me go out anywhere, let alone family. So yeah, I didn't know what the world was actually like or what it could be. So the things that I was attracting, I didn't know it was anything outside of that. Basically, I thought maybe everybody was just toxic. This is how everybody grew up. This is what people encountered. This is what life is like, basically. So yeah, it was like a back and forth relationship type thing, and it had to get to the point where I just got really, really tired. And yeah, so there's been plenty of interactions when we got to fighting. Like, he would always abuse me, and like, I can understand why, because he would just be angry for no reason. And later on, I did realize what it was. Basically, it was his parents. His parents was in an abusive relationship, so he mimicked that on me. So yeah, so we're just gonna skip a little forward to where I was starting to retaliate, and I was about to run him over with my car. So yeah, this is at the point I just got tired, and just tired of everything with him abusing me and just doing me wrong. At that point, I started to retaliate, because at this point I was just fed up. Like, after everything that I just been through with him, like all the altercations of abuse, I ended up hitting him first at that time. So after him splashing me with the smoothie, basically knocking the cup out of my hand, splashing me with everything, I started hitting him. Like, I started retaliating. So at that point, after I done hit him a couple times, he ended up headbutting me, and it left a scar on my eyebrow. I still got it to this day. And at that point, all I seen was my head was throbbing. So I didn't know if it was my eyebrow or my head at first. Like, I didn't know what was going on. All I know was a whole bunch of blood all over me, and my head was just throbbing. So at that point, I got into the car because I was tired. And yeah, I tried to run him over. At this point, like, it was either me, he's finna take my life, or I was gonna take his. Like, I was just so mad. Like, I was tired of the abuse. Like, everything I was going through, like, it just came rushing that day. Like, everything just all clicked like a switch. I was tired. It was like almost the last straw. So yeah, I end up trying to run him over, and did hit him. So thank God I didn't. And yeah, like, I remember after that altercation, I had got in my car, just drove off. We all took separate cars at that point. Like, no, well, yeah, my cousin had her car and I had mine. He rode with me. So yeah, we all met at the park that day. But yeah, so I ended up leaving him. I ended up driving off. My cousin ended up following me, was trying to get back to my house. And I just remember her just laughing, like, laughing about the whole thing. Like, how's you laughing about something traumatic like that? Like, mind you, she was laughing at a whole bunch of stuff that I was going through in my life. Like, she just got like a kick out of it. Mind you, she grind me too. Like, she's the one that started a lot of chaos as well throughout the family. So yeah, we're gonna get into that later. But yeah, she was just laughing at the whole situation. I would never forget that. But yeah, after that, I remember seeing the police like arriving at my house, basically trying to find me or book me or whatever, and I end up seeing it. So I end up going over my uncle's house, and I was just trying to get my money, all my money together, basically for bonding. And I remember my auntie and my uncle was just doing everything for me, like, you know, getting me situated. So after that, I end up, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day, I ended up just turning myself in. Like, I only stayed at the it wasn't jail, it was just like the waiting part. I just sat in there for like, I want to say at least 12, was it 8 or 12 hours? It was for a very long time, but I had to wait on them to buy me out. So yeah, and I had to they had to process everything. So yeah, I end up, it was a felony at first, but I got a lawyer to get it expunged, and my ex ended up having a whole record of being abusive and having weapons and stuff like that. So he had a record, which I knew nothing of until that day. So yeah, after that, I learned my lesson. I didn't want nothing to do with him. So okay, after that, this is a lot to unravel. Let me make sure that I'm covering things, because I did, like I said, I wrote everything down. I've been journaling for a while. Like I said, I used to fornicate a lot. Did marijuana. I don't know if I can say that. I did MJ. So yeah, I didn't know nothing about that until the cousin I was just telling you about. So every time I went over her house, it was like she was just introducing me to things that I knew nothing of. So I got introduced to MJ, so I started to do that. And I remember it got to the point where I became a stoner, and I was around this dude. Like, all we used to do was just smoke and have, and it got to the point where we were just so cool with each other. And I remember one day he came and picked me up, and because he had a car at that time. Like, this was like back in when I was 18. This was a little bit before I had a car, so before I even had a job. So yeah, before I was, what was it? It was in high school. I want to say 17. It had been when I was 16. Was this after the abuse relationship? Yeah, this was after the ex. It wasn't nowhere near high school. So okay. It's been a long journey. So okay, yeah, I had this friend that I would used to just smoke and have with, and I remember one day he came and picked me up, and we was about to ride around and smoke. And yeah, I remember it was some laced. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just regular, because we would always just do regular. I ain't had nothing to do with nothing new. I knew nothing of nothing new. So this time, he didn't tell me, and we end up smoking together. My nose ring. So it was around the time when that K2, K3 weed, synthetic weed came out. So yeah, I ended up smoking that, and didn't know what it was at the time when smoking it, but after the fact that I went through everything, that's when he told me what it was. And mind you, he was already smoking it before I even got in the car, so it didn't, do anything to him. He didn't have no triggers or geeking or nothing. It was just me, so maybe I was just sensitive to it. But yeah, I should never been smoking, so yeah. It triggered me. Like, it had me hallucinating. Like, it had me to the point where I was on cloud 13 at this point. Like, I was floating. I was out of it. So at that point, like, after we got done smoking and stuff, he ended up dropping me off, because at that point we was just running around the city. So yeah, so he ended up dropping me off. I ended up going inside the house, and I was trying to sleep it off, because I was like, I'm too lit for this. At this point, like, this was, like I said, it was some new stuff to me. So I really didn't think nothing of it. Like, all I knew at that point, like, I was just feeling like I was floating. got to the point where I was trying to sleep it off and I couldn't sleep. I started to hear my heart outside of myself, like outside of my chest. I started to hear it like so loud and clearly, and it sounded like it was slowing down. And I remember like I was just starting to panic. Like when I started to panic, it just got 10 times worse. Like my anxiety went through the roof. Like I really thought I was finna die for real that day. And I remember I started to like geek, like twitch and stuff. It felt like something was crawling on me. Like I always try to mesh this scene up with the Friday scene when Day Day was in a chicken coop and itching and stuff. Like, yeah, that was me. So yeah, I had to hurry up and go get my mom and tell her that I needed to go to the doctor, her and my dad. So they end up, you know, just trying to see what was wrong, and they just watching me like just geek out, like flip out. It's not funny, but I can laugh about it now. So yeah, they end up taking me to the doctor. So I remember just flipping out at the hospital. Like I was in handcuffs. I don't even know how I got out of the handcuffs. Like it was a movie. Like it felt like I was clicking in and out at that point. Like at times I knew what I was doing. I knew where I was going. Then there were times where I would just click out, like hallucinating. Like I don't know if it was starting to wear off. Like at that point, like it was trying to stay in my system, but at the same time it was kind of wearing off. So I was just clicking in and out. But yeah, so I ended up staying in the hospital. I had to stay overnight. They end up explaining the whole situation back to me when basically I got well. So yeah. After that, what else? Hold on. 'Cause I want to cover everything that I've been through in my life. Got introduced to porn by a cousin. Like I knew nothing about nothing bad, basically, if it wasn't for this cousin. This cousin knew everything. Like she introduced me to, like I said, the boyfriend that I got assaulted by, the MJ that I knew nothing of. I don't know, corn with a C, like really with the, I'm trying to be like cautious with my words on YouTube because you can get like a strike or whatever. So you know what rhymes with corn. So yeah. And when we was kids, it was a mama and daddy game. Yeah, that one introduced me to that. So I was like, through my high school years on up, it was like I had an addiction with that and just fornication, masturbation, like all of it, the whole nine. So I dealt with that. And it's not to blame nobody or whatever. It's just like, I'm just telling how it is, how it was, what I was introduced to by certain people, like that didn't have my best interest in life. Like was basically just steering me in the wrong direction. But this was a cousin that I looked at as a sister when I was younger. We was always together when I was able to get out, up until she started acting shady. And that's when I slowly started to distance myself. With that cousin, like, I don't know, a lot of stuff happened with that person. Like, I don't know if it was because of her trauma, how her mom talked down on her when she was younger, how she got treated or whatever, but she projected a lot of her stuff on me, and it was like she was just acting out. Like she still do that today, like as an adult, like she still act like that. But I remember like the abusive boyfriend she like tried to talk to, I remember she was trying to talk to him, like, and then like in person she would always try to be flirty and just, you know how females is, they be trying you. So she was definitely that. What else? Like I could never trust this cousin. Like I could never really just trust her for real. Like I broke that off like high school. I remember her asking me like why I don't ever hang out with her no more, why I don't talk to her no more. I just remember her just asking me a whole bunch of questions because I guess she saw the switch or the difference or whatever, you know, when I stopped doing stuff. Basically stopped hanging out with her for real. But yeah, I had told her exactly what it was because I mean she would always tell my business. She would always try to start stuff, start chaos, be grimy. Like she was just that type of person and still is to this day. So yeah, yeah, it's if it's an argument or something drama in the family, just know that she has something to do with it, or she's in the middle of it, or she's somewhere around it. But yeah, I like just took a break from just people in general. So probably like Years later, I want to say at least about 5 or 6 years later, I end up meeting somebody that I worked with. Like, it was somebody that got my number while I was at the job, but I knew that I was leaving that job. So yeah, that person ended up getting my number. A lot of people kept on telling me that he was trying to talk to me, and he finally just came up to, you know, ask me for my number. We exchanged numbers. We end up talking for, I want to say, at least two years before we actually end up getting into a relationship, because like I said, I've been through a lot in my life, and I wasn't ready to put my trust in nobody, like, at that point, like, and I didn't want to, like, just be all gullible and loving and stuff, because I always got my heart broken. So every time I done it, it was just like the same thing. So I was just trying to see where things was going to go. So basically just being observative at that point, like just observant of the whole situation. And he was a really nice guy. It just came to the point where, like, kind of towards the end, like, he would just say like little things like slow or whatever. Like, I really don't be slow. Maybe I would be slow at certain things, because like I said, my parents didn't teach me things. I had to learn about things along the way. So he was very much like smart, like smarter than me, basically. So like certain things that we would just talk about, and I couldn't answer it because I didn't know. Like, yeah. So it came about that, like, he started to call me slow, and then he had like things of his ex in his closet, and I ended up finding them, and I was just asking him about it. And at that point he was like, my ex is better than you and stuff like that, like just trying to throw shade or just trying to bring me down.
This is when the cheating started with the both of us.
So yeah, that relationship went downhill. It just wasn't working, basically, after all of it. A lot of people that I got into a relationship, they always like switch up once they got me or whatever. Like, they started to see me being more caring, and just being gullible, naive, basically. And a lot of men be like that. Once they feel like they got you, they feel like they can stop doing what they, you know, supposed to do as a boyfriend, or they feel like they can talk down on you any kind of way, you know. But yeah, so yeah, I went through a lot of down talking. It kind of put me in the mind of my mom at that point, like just talking down on me. Like, it brought up like a traumatic event, like in my life, basically. Just, it brought back emotions, basically. So I never really showed no emotion, like the toxic stuff, like everything that I've been through. I've never shown it to people. Like, a lot of people don't even know what I've been through. Like, never said anything, never showed it. Whatever I was going through, it was because within that relationship with that person. So a lot of people didn't even know what I was going through, so, or what I've been through. So yeah, so after that relationship, I really tried to save that relationship. So, but it really didn't work out, because he was just basically working all over states or whatever at that time. He was just moving, basically. So he ended up cutting it off, and yeah, I cried about that relationship. Like, I really did like him. Like, I felt like I could learn from him on certain things, and he came from a loving family. Like, I really loved his mom and his siblings and stuff. So yeah, but after that relationship, I got into another abusive relationship. He was like a cheater. He cheated on me so many times, and that didn't last long at all. Like, I don't even say that was a relationship for real. Like, it was iffy. I don't know what it was. I don't know what to call it. But that was another abusive relationship, and yeah. So after that relationship, I just took a break. I want to say it wasn't really much of a break at that point, because I was just really trying to get over him at that point. I usually take like 5 to like 6 years. Like, it ain't even like a certain amount. It'd be like years. Like, I'd be trying to give myself a break from like just men in general, just so I can get myself regulated, my nervous system, my emotions, everything back regulated, like getting back to me. I would always do that. But this one, the last one, after that abuse, I end up like just waiting, like, I want to say at least 6 to 7 months, because somebody that I used to talk to in the past a long time ago ended up coming back up. And I was like, maybe this is God sending him my way just to take the pressure off of me, like getting my mind off of him. And just because at that point I was very suicidal. Like, I just felt like I just kept on going into like relationships that would never work out for me. Like, I couldn't understand what I was doing wrong. Like, I would always like try to be like loving, caring, attentive. I had like plenty of jobs. Like at that time, like I was working like at least 2 jobs at that point. So any relationship I got in, I always had a great job. Like I was always working. At that point when I was young, I ain't never went without a job. Like I was a workaholic. Like I made sure I made that money. I had money. So my thing was just basically getting a job and finding somebody to build with. That was my whole, my whole thinking process. Like that's how I wanted my life to go, because I seen my parents. That's how I wanted my life to go, because I seen my parents, even though they didn't have the best parenting relationship with me, I just saw it still as loving, because they stayed together. And yeah, you don't see too many relationships that last that long, or to be able to go through trials and tribulations like that and still be together at the end. So yeah, I had cherished that. So I seen the good and not the bad in it, and I just wanted that for myself. Like not the relationship, I just wanted the marriage. Like I wanted the the moral standards. Like I wanted to do things the right way, basically. So my whole idea when I got into a relationship, like at the very beginning, I just wanted to get in a relationship, grow with somebody, and later on get married. That's been my whole mindset, but it did not work out for me. And I felt like God just took me through a lot, because it's a purpose in it. It was me. Like I'll get to that in a minute, but it was a purpose. It was a reason. But yeah, so I ended up meeting the last guy. Now this guy, he lived in the same state but a couple of hours away, and I can say I really did care for that. Like I care for all the people that I dated. Like if I did care for them, I wouldn't be in a relationship. Like that was just me. So yeah, I cared for him a whole lot, and we hung out, talked on the phone every day, like from sun up to sundown. Sometimes never even got off the phone, just slept on the phone. Like I really did cherish that relationship, because for him to be far away and still be able to have that bond, I really enjoyed it. Like yeah. But as we began to see each other like in person, like him getting to see me getting to see him, and then meeting his family. Like mind you, he never met my family because I really wasn't ready. Like my mom's situation, and yeah, like I wasn't ready. So I was really putting it on hold until I got them together. And so it was just me. It kind of seemed like the relationship was one-sided, but it really wasn't. I didn't explain it to him, but at the same time, I think I did like parts. He was the only person that I had told about my mom, but that was like later on in the relationship. So yeah, because he would always ask why he wasn't able to come over, or why he haven't met my parents or whatever. But she ended up speaking to him sometimes through the phone. And I remember my dad talking to him one time, like on the phone. But yeah, I ended up meeting his parents, and I don't know, like his family wasn't the right family. That I don't know, like I wouldn't say they're like mean or whatever, but she did say some rude things like behind my back. Like I overheard her, but at the same time, like they was cool, but it was just like too much. Like I wasn't used to like the loud, the party, the smoking, I was used to the drinking part, but the smoking, I was already, no, let me go back, because I was doing edibles at the time, but I wasn't, I don't know, I don't want to say anything, but I wasn't, like, I don't want to say too much, but I wasn't used to that family setting for real. Like, I don't know, like, like I didn't get along with the sister. Like the sister just seemed like she was grimy a little bit. Like I don't know, I don't even want to get into that. But
this person mirrored me a lot, and I felt like God sent me him for a reason, to see myself. The only thing I saw that I needed to work on was my relationship with God, separating from toxic people, lay off the intoxications, knowing my true worth, and just focus and celebrating me. Simply just flourishing and growing. Because I will always be there for people, and he was too. So yeah, so I got what God was trying to say this whole time.
He was a cool dude, and like
He was cool up until the end, but I realized that our time was up and that I realized what God was saying to me this whole time. So the relationship wasn't for me for real. It was a test, and I finally got what God was trying to say to me this whole time. Mind you, this was the relationship that God didn't want me to get in. Basically just a friend. But we mirrored each other so much that I really thought he was heaven sent, which he was, but it wasn't in the way that I thought. It was all just a test to get me where I needed to be.
I remember the last time when I visited him and I ended up, we was at his mom's house and I ended up seeing something in his room and it was like a whole bunch of girl stuff. So I asked him, like, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I was just like, what is this and stuff like that. It was like a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even want to get into that, but yeah, come to find out he cheated. So I ended up cheating back that day. So yeah, and that led me to having a threesome with somebody. And it was somebody that I was talking to at the same time as him, but he was a friend and he was somebody that I dated. Like, I never met this person. Like, he was basically the long distance friend. He was the long distance boyfriend, basically. So
at this time around, when I was dating this person, I did keep some of my friends, like guy friends, around because I didn't know what was going to happen in this relationship, and basically it just seemed like I needed someone to either fall back on or just talk to if this one didn't work out. That's how I kind of learned how to move in relationships at this point. It was a lot, but it was like, this is how I was beginning to see how people would do in relationships, so I would basically mimic that. And this was my first time ever basically doing that. So yeah,
this person I had ended up talking to for a while, and yeah, I ended up just having a threesome today. Like, I was just, at that point, I didn't have no more love for me. My sense went out the door. Like, I was just tired of everything. Like, I just didn't care what I was doing. Like, no more. Like, nothing. So yeah, after all of that, just never talked after that. And yeah, that relationship lasted a year, and we was talking for like, I knew him for at least about 4 or 5 years before that, prior to that. So yeah,
it was actually just 3 years prior.
So okay, after that relationship, at this point I just slowed down. Like, I slowed down everything. I started not to talk to anybody. Like, I just wanted a break from men at that point. At that point, I got into drinking real heavily. Like, mind you, I was already like just drinking. Like, basically, I was just emotional drinking at that point. Like, I was just, every time I was emotional, I was just drinking. And yeah, like, I was always drinking around my auntie and just having fun. Like, or friends and other people in general. I drank throughout my 20s. I want to say my 20s, 21 and up. Cause yeah. So I started drinking when I was 21 and up. Like, as soon as I turned 21, I started to drink. But it wasn't like heavily like that. It was like either I was going through something, I was just emotionally drinking. I don't know why I can't talk, but I was emotionally drinking. Like, every time I was down or going through something, I would just drink. And sometimes go past my limits, and the other times I would just be having fun. Like, whenever I got out, like, mind you, I was always working. Like, every time I got the chance to just go out and hang with friends, like, that's what it was. Like, just throwing up shots and drinks and here and there, like bar hopping and stuff like that. So yeah, after that, I got called an alcoholic by people that drunk more than me, like way more than me. Like, these people would drink almost, if it wasn't every day, it was every other day or every weekend. Like, it was nothing near to me what I was doing. Like, at this point, I was just drinking, like, either sometimes, like, whenever I got the chance to go out. Like I said, it wasn't often. Like, every time I got a day off or when I was around people, like just trying to hang out. Like I said, I wasn't even around people like that. If it wasn't like people that I was dating or just family, like, yeah, like, I wasn't drinking that much. It was just when I was just emotional majority of the time. I'm not perfect by any means, but what it gave to me was immature tolerance, emotional coping, binge drinking behavior. Not necessarily addiction. Just because you drink alcohol doesn't mean you're an alcoholic. It's when you can't say no. Basically, it's when it becomes a problem. But a lot of people don't know the difference, so yeah. So yeah, everybody, by that time, like, a lot of people, I never showed my emotions. I never projected anything on anybody. at this point, like, I was just taking my emotions out on like alcohols and edibles and stuff like that. Like, at that point, because after that smoking incident, I never smoke again after that. So it was always just edibles and stuff like that and alcohol. So yeah.
And with that, I was basically controlling of how much I ate and when I ate it. So it was more of a control what I could control with the edible versus the other stuff. So yeah.
At that time, I was just doing it, like, really just trying to take my mind off of things. So yeah, but after I stopped that, I started to get into, that's when a lot of people were starting to get into like spiritual things, like the crystals and stuff. So I ended up buying crystals, I want to say back in it was either 2019 or 2020 is when I bought my first couple of crystals. So I did that. I was into the tarots and stuff like that. And yeah, like later on, it led me to like, it was like everything spiritual. So later on, I ended up reading the Bible and stuff like that. And I found out that tarots was like something bad, like a bad doing or whatever. So I ended up stopped reading and doing the tarot, not doing it, but just looking at other people doing it and talking about it and stuff like that. So yeah, I got into that. What else? I had started to go back to church. Like the same people that I saw growing up was like the people that I was just see be nice in the church, but when they got their moment, they would always be mean, or I don't know. I feel like God called me out of the church, and because I kept seeing things for what it was. Even when I was a child, I saw things for what it was, the people and stuff. So he led me out of there, and just with specific people. But this is the church that I grew up in, and I got baptized when I was around 6 or 7. So yeah. And what else? At this point, I was just trying to like heal. And I was already in my relationship with God, reading the Bible, trying to study it, remember things. And yeah, I was trying to basically, you know, get everybody together to have a talk in the family. Only my sister, my aunt, one of my aunties, and one of my cousins was able to talk. I just brought up things about my sister and our relationship and stuff, like what was the reason of not getting close and stuff like that. Which we still don't have a good relationship because of how things are playing out and how she just basically don't want to see the truth for what it is. And yeah, I'm just tired of being around certain stuff in my life, basically. And yeah, I haven't talked to her for real since last year of October. Like when she calls our mother, she'll just ask about me, or she'll say hi if I'm in the room or whatever. But other than that, I really haven't talked to her. Yeah. And we was just talking about it. And then I remember me talking to my aunt. I was just like, I just asked her why she'll never do anything for me, or, you know, like just something like, I'm always there for you. You don't seem like you be there for me. Like you, I don't know. I know there was times where she was like emotionally, but just like returning like the favor or, you know, the love and stuff like that. It was like every time she would just be there emotionally, it was just to hear me basically cry about situation that was just bringing me down. Like, I don't know, some people, I ain't gonna say her, but some people do be getting a kick out of your bad times in your life, like when things are like not working out for you, or, you know, you just going through a lot. A lot of people get a kick out of that, especially if they don't want the best for you, or they want to see you down, or just going through everything or whatever. Especially if their life can relate to it, they want to see somebody else that can relate to their life. And sometimes a lot of people don't be wanting the best for, you know, other people. So that's the energy I got. But like I said, I don't want to just jump to conclusions, but that was the energy that I got from her and her daughter, my cousin, or whatever. And yeah. So okay, what else? So the other auntie, she didn't want to talk about anything at that point. Like, we didn't have no relationship for real. Like, if it wasn't me just doing stuff for her, or, you know, just either doing stuff for her or just getting her things that she had, like, we really didn't have no relationship. It was just based off of materialistic things. And the other auntie too, basically. It was just me doing stuff for her. But yeah, there was basically almost everybody in the family. But yeah, which I didn't mind because one of the aunties, she paid me for it, and it would just be times where she would have me do things and she would just pay me, or it would be times that she would ask me for money to, cover bills and stuff, and I would just loan it to her, and it'll be for months and stuff, and she would just pay me months after. Like, yeah, that was the type of relationship. It was like always materialistic type stuff. Like, it was never nothing like genuine or loving, caring. Like, I don't know, like maybe it was like how they were just brought up, or how they mom show love, or how, I don't know. I don't want to get into that, but those are the things that I got from that. But yeah, so I didn't have a talk with that auntie. I didn't have a talk with the other cousin at that time. A little bit before it was an incident. So this one cousin that I had ended up doing a favor for, she was just basically just talking about people in the family that she really didn't care for and didn't like, and she was just going on and on, and it was like some of the stuff that I can relate to because it's some of the stuff that I had went through with the same people. And it was like, I don't know, like I was liking that cousin not because of that thing. I mean, it wasn't because of what she was just saying, but it was a lot of things that we went through and it was relatable. But yeah, so she ended up saying all of that, and it became like one of the cousins' birthday had came around, and she started to act funny. Like every time the cousin come around, the auntie come around, everybody that gets around them start to act funny. Like people be their normal selves, but as soon as these two people come around, they start to act funny or whatever. Like always, everybody. Like I don't know what it is. It seems like a lot of people get scary, or they just, I don't know, trained or whatever. I don't know what the case may be, but people be switched when they get around them. But anywho, I think that's the reason why they really didn't like me either, because, well, I feel like that's the reason why they really don't like me, because I was the only one that didn't do that. Like I didn't switch. Like I continue to be myself. Like, yeah. So when that cousin birthday had rolled around, it was like a lot of stuff came about. Like she had ended up coming up to my house, and I remember her being in the kitchen, and she was just talking about me to her friend or whatever, talking about basically I don't do nothing, I don't ever go out, or I just sit on the couch all the time and stuff, just basically talking down on me. So I ended up confronting her, and she tried to play it off and start talking about something else, trying to basically brush it off. So all of the cousins had ended up leaving to go on her birthday little trip or whatever, and I just ended up staying behind because at that point, like I took that like offensive, like not offensive, but I just took it as what it was. Basically, I wasn't finna hang around somebody that's just constantly faking grinding all the time. Like, no. So I ended up staying behind. And then I remember one of the cousins out of the group ended up texting me, the same one basically from earlier. Was just talking about everybody. But she ended up texting me. Mind you, she always just texts me, like just always about random stuff. So at this point, she was just texting me. It was like, she really didn't want to be there, and she was just saying that she not paying for nothing, because I don't know, I guess they be having her pay for stuff when she around, whatever, I don't know. Anywho, she was like she wasn't paying for nothing, and then got to the point where she was like, why did not come? And I was like, well, she had ended up saying stuff like, y'all was all in the room when I said this, or whatever. I think she was outside, so I don't think she got to hear or whatever, but anywho. So I was like, I really didn't want to go because of the issue, what was said and stuff like that. And I guess she didn't know about it or whatever. And she ended up confronting her at the party, the scene or whatever. And she ended up, that cousin ended up texting me, was talking about, what was said or what was talking about, or I can say it to her in her face or whatever, which I already stated that she tried to make it seem like I didn't say nothing to her. Like, I don't know. It always be a whole bunch of delusional stuff with that person. I don't know. But anywho, she always try to make it seem like I didn't say nothing, and yeah, trying to make it seem like I was the problem or the issue when it was her. She just can't take accountability for nothing. So that ended up happening, and that's what broke up everything. So after all of that, I could continue my journey with God. I started to, brush off the family. Like at that point, I didn't really want to talk to nobody in the family because of things, what was going on. Like the last time I end up spending time with family was at the Christmas party, the Christmas and the New Year's party. So that was the last time I really just hung out with the family, because I knew that I was just about to get ready to separate. I was about to, you know, take my relationship with God, you know, for real, like, finna be in my Bible, in my book, you know, trying to keep the faith so I can get what, you know, what I've been missing my whole life, like the things that I've been wanting, my purpose, and just, you know, what God had for me, basically. So after all of that, I ended up just staying to myself. The only person, like, I continued to talk to one of the aunties because basically I was just still talking about the incident, but she really didn't want to hear it. She kept on brushing it off, and then she tried to make it seem like everybody always messed with her child, but in reality her child is the issue, and she know that. But I don't know, neither one of them can't take accountability for nothing they say or do. So yeah, anywho, I don't know why I continue to talk to that auntie, but it just seemed like when the times that I didn't have my mom, she was like there, like somewhat there. So I just took that relationship, like I was just trying to, you know, hold on to that relationship, but I had to let that go because it was toxic. Like every time I be around this person, or, you know, this side of the family, it was always something they would blame on to me or say or do. Like, mind you, every time I confronted something, she would always try to call her daughter, try to make it seem like she was gonna put me in my place all the time. Like, no, like I let people talk. Like, I never say anything, and it's not because I'm scared or whatever. It's just because I know I see things for what it is. I feel like what's understood don't need to be explained. Like, yeah, I was mature. I was mature than a lot of people in my family. Like, I didn't have to speak, basically. So yeah, so after I cut that off back in 2024, it was like I still speak because they still come around and stuff. I still stay with my parents. So you know, I'm still kind. That's who I am. So yeah, I know they act kind, but they really ain't. Like, I know they still talk behind my back and stuff like that, but yeah, they still act shady from time to time and stuff. Like, throw like little side marks and stuff. Like, yeah, but yeah, they still act shady a little bit. So every time they come around, I'll be catching it. I just, like I said, I don't be studying none of that. But yeah, yeah, so as I began my relationship with God, I started to lose things. Like, I was doing Uber, and it got to the point where I was not making that much in Uber, and I was doing my CNA work too at the same time. Like, when I wasn't doing CNA, I was Ubering. When I wasn't Ubering, I was doing CNA. So it got to the point where the CNA work wasn't like just booming, so I had to take a break from that because it wasn't nobody really hiring. And when I started to get all the way in Uber, it was like I wasn't making that much. Like, I was spending more in gas than what I was making. So yeah, I was like, it was just starting to drain me, basically. Not only my time, money, my pockets, my emotions, all of that. Like, everything was just starting to drain me, basically, going downhill. And I remember, like, at that point, I remember, I want to say it was in November, like a little bit before my birthday, like the beginning. I remember I had this job I was gonna do, and they was hiring, and all I had to do was do a phone interview, and then I can just come in and do take the rest of my tests or whatever, like blood work or whatever, to become my CNA. So you had to get certain shots or whatever.
Not to become a CNA, but to get the stuff that you're needing to work as a CNA.
Be a CNA, you know. But yeah, so I kid you not, that little weekend when I was about to get ready to do my interview and stuff, I had got sick out of nowhere. Mind you, I had been in the house. I had been in the house, and I just got sick out of nowhere. Like, my throat, like, I was barely able to talk. My chest was always congested. I had aches and pain everywhere. Like, I haven't been nowhere like in months after that, like from doing Uber. Like, at that point, I was in the house for at least, I want to say 2 months. Like, the month of I was in the house for 2 months.
After Uber slowed down, I started to look for CNA jobs. This one CNA job I knew that I was going to get, but this happened out of nowhere.
So I was like, I don't know how am I just getting sick like this out of nowhere? Like, where is this coming from? And like, all of a sudden, like, I became sick when it was time for me to do an interview. So I was like, either this is a sign from God, like he don't want me to get this job, or it's the devil at play, like trying to stop me from making money, getting money or whatever. So I still did the interview. Mind you, I'm putting the FaceTime on mute every time I'm coughing. Like, yeah, just trying to, get everything out. I didn't want her to see that I was sick, and she just, denied me, like she didn't want me to work or whatever. So yeah.
Just me getting hired, because it would have took me a month to actually start working. So I knew I would have been over this, whatever it was, by then.
So I remember after the phone conversation, I remember just like getting sick real bad to the point where I couldn't even come in to get my blood work. Like all I did was just send the email, and I guess she never got that email for some reason. I don't know. I even sent a screenshot, and she was like, nah, she couldn't take me, whatever, because basically I didn't come in or whatever. So anywho, after all of that, I was sick. Like I didn't have no strength. Like God is the one that gives you strength to, endure everything. Like for me to not have strength and not being able to talk, not being able to like just move, like I was just like sick and out of it. So at that point when they denied me, I wasn't able to work for them, like maybe work for them. But after a few days later, I want to say like a week after that, I was just well, like, and like nothing happened. Like I got well, like literally it was fine. Like I don't know, like it was a miracle out of nowhere. Like it was so weird. Like that whole month, like it was just weird to me. Like I don't know, like I feel like that was God. Like God be sending me signs, and when you have like discernment and stuff like that, you be knowing what's God and what's not. And I feel like that was God. So yeah,
basically just not working in that field no more, and I feel like God was calling me into isolation so I can actually heal. So the whole reason of me just saying that it was God, it was time for me to heal basically and grow into my purpose.
So I didn't get that job. So at that point, I was just trying to keep my faith. Like God is gonna pay off my car. Like there was no doubt in my mind. Like he wasn't. Like at this point, like I've been good in my life. Yes, I went through a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it's like I never showed it. Did nobody know what I went through? Like I always kept a smile. Like I was a joyful person. Like every time you see me, I was always happy. Like always. Like mind you, this is what people would tell me to as well. So yeah, like I was like, I've been good my whole entire life. Like, of course was saying stuff was saying whatever, but I had pure motives, pure intentions. Like always been a good person, always been kind, always showed love, always been there, without asking for anything. Never asked for nothing. Did everything with the kindness of my heart. Did things from the homeless. I just catered myself all throughout the, the community, what I could do and stuff like that. But yeah, and within my family too, I did things for everybody. So okay, after all of that happened, he ended up not paying for my car. Now that's when my faith like just went out the door, because I was like, darn, he didn't pay for my car. Like they just left a lot of doubt in me. Like it led me to doubt God. Like, is God even real? Like I've been through so much in my life for him just to take me through this and then not be there for me. And like, mind you, I was on my faith journey, like in a Bible, like consistently day from, morning to night. Like I was in my Bible, like I was in there faithfully for months at that point, because I had started like during the summer. And it led me, like, continuously until that day. Like, I started to doubt God.
I just had a lot of faith in me, knowing that he was going to do it. But sometimes God had to take away things just to give you something even newer. So that's why I had to realize. And later on, I had the opportunity to get a car. And it was through a person, but I felt like that person really didn't want to. So it really didn't go through. So it wouldn't be out of love, it would have been forced basically. So I'd rather have something that was genuinely given to me. And I did not seek God for materialistic things, because God is not materialistic. I actually seek God genuinely, versus the people I know today do that. They didn't start talking about God until they got things, because when I was telling them about God, they never wanted to hear it. A lot of people is performative with their relationship with God versus me. So I really couldn't understand that at the time, but God was showing me the real versus the fake. So I see it now.
Why is a lot of evil people just just moving in life? And later I found out why. Basically, it's a wicked world. Like a lot of people that's wicked usually move a lot quicker in life than others, like God's people basically. So later I learned that, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But so at that point I was just like at home, like just by myself at that point. And I remember my little cousin ended up coming down, and she would just always be down here, basically just, trying to get out of the house because she was going through a lot too. And basically just listening to her, basically, things of what she was going through. trying to uplift her and be there, because, you know, like I said, I ain't never had this. So I was always trying to give and be something that I wish I had to somebody else. So that's how it was. That's how I did with everybody, basically, which is where I went wrong at. But yeah, so I ended up trying to be there for her. And I remember when she graduated and stuff like that, and she started to get things, and then I remember helping her like with her apartment and stuff, like, you know, not help, well, I had gave her things, like, I want to say like little stuff, I don't know, the stuff that I already had, and then just clothes and stuff that I gave to her and stuff. I just remember her just starting to switch up at this point. Like, when people get things, they start to switch up, or when they get around certain people, they start to switch up. And I noticed when she started to be around that one cousin, she was definitely switching up. Like, I don't know if that cousin was just planting seeds in her head, was just basically telling her to do stuff, and she was just acting on it or what. But she did try to make it seem like I was gonna be jealous of her because she had a car, and basically I lost mine, and she got an apartment, which I was uplifting her. I was very happy for her. I'm excited for everybody. I ain't never been jealous of nobody. Like, when you know the truth in people's and life and stuff, you don't be jealous of other people. Like, I don't want nothing nobody have, because you don't know what it takes to get there, for them to keep it, or what they went through to get it. Like, yeah, I never want nothing nobody have, especially in this family. But yeah, I remember her trying to act like I was gonna be jealous of her. So every time she came around, it was always, oh, I got an apartment, or I'm glad I got an apartment. Mind you, we can have a whole totally different conversation, and she was just in mid conversation, she would just bring up apartment. Like, it didn't even make sense. Like, it just came to the point where she was just saying it so often, trying to make it seem like, you know, trying to see if I was gonna be jealous of her or whatever. Like, when you get things and you observe things, you get almost everything people be trying to say, do, the side remarks, or, you know, just every little grimy things that people do. So that's what I basically encountered from that. And she's just trying to make it seem like I was just jealous. And honestly, I don't feel like it was just her. I feel like it was the other cousins just trying to make it, basically just speaking to her and trying to like plant seeds. I just felt like her hanging around the other cousin, she was just trying to, I don't know, either be like her or just listen and act on it, basically. So
this is the same cousin that always starts stuff with me. Mind you, she copy everything that I do. If it's not the exact thing, she's doing something similar. Like, she always copies me. So I'm guessing this is the reason why she was trying to plant this seed in her head, trying to make it seem like it was me with her, jealous of her.
Yeah, I was like, at that point, I was like, wow, like, every person in this family gonna be grimy like that. Like, mind you, it's either every time, like I stated before, it's every time somebody get around this one cousin, always turn people like grimy, or it's either the mother or the auntie, always grimy. Mind you, everybody in the family has stated something about this one auntie and this one cousin. Everybody, like, always had something, either an argument with them, or it was always chaos around them. Everybody stated something about them. Like, yeah, like, it was always chaos. So I knew it had something to do with her. So I just left that situation alone. I remember just doing one last thing for her, because at this point she really didn't have nobody to do it, and I was just being the bigger person, the bigger cousin. So I end up asking my dad, could he move things for her. So we did that, and then she threw it up again. I'm like, this girl is really just slow at this point, because, mind you, I ain't gonna get into that, but yeah, I got the picture of what she was trying to do and what she was trying to say. But I cut that off quickly, left that behind. So at this point, I just kept the relationship with me and my sister at that point, until what I had already put on my YouTube channel, if you haven't seen that video yet. But it was the situation of her husband basically just saying stuff, basically, and doing stuff. Like, I remember the times where I would be using the bathroom, and mind you, they have this what's it called, what is it called, the laundry room connected to the bathroom. Like, you can see through it, like through the like, it was a rack for the towels and stuff, you can see through it. So I remember it was times where I would be using the bathroom and the lights would be off on the other side, so I didn't think nobody was over there, but it be him in there, or he went in there after I went into the bathroom, and he was just watching me use the bathroom. I remember a time like that. I remember he would just say like little slick stuff, like, I don't know, comment on my body, comment on my looks, my appearance, and stuff like that. He did that throughout my life. What else? I remember That one time my sister ended up, I had asked her for a pen or a pencil or something, and she told me to go look in the computer room or whatever, and I was like, I didn't know where it was, like, can she just go get it? And she ended up telling him to show me, and I was like, well, I asked him, can he just bring it to me? And he was like, nah, I'm gonna show you. So I ended up just following him to the computer room or whatever, and he showed me where it was. And I remember he was trying to turn on the another light or whatever that was in the room, and it was like the light was right here in my face, like I was standing by the light, so it was like he was reaching over us, and he was this close to my face. And I remember like he just paused for a very long time. Like it's almost like he wanted me to turn my face. So if I did turn my face, it would have been me kissing him. That was how close he was. So I remember that happened not too long ago. But yeah, I would just always ask, like I never stated that to my sister, that part, but when he would throw up like little flirtatious stuff, I would just ask her, why is he always like this, or why is he saying stuff like that? Like I would always ask, like, why he acts so weird, and she would be like, oh, it's just him, like, just drinking, just drunk or whatever. And mind you, a lot of people say true things when they're drunk, or act their true ways when they're drunk. And I was like, I'm just looking at my sister, and then I'm just thinking in my head, like, I don't know, like, maybe she just don't want to know the truth, or maybe she just don't want to see the truth, or maybe she just look at him as an alcoholic. I don't know, like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I hate not being able to, see my nieces and nephews, but being in a situation like that would eventually get blamed for something eventually. Just like me standing around family, I got blamed for everything. So at that point, I just had to cut that off. Like, I cut ties with my sister, and because, I mean, she would never just see the truth or just see what I was saying, like, just talking about, like, just weird stuff going on. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really want to get into that. I was just tired at that point, so I just cut it off. And because of what I said about that situation, it's like she would take his side and like have secret motives and intentions with me because of what I said. So it's like her taking his side. So it really wasn't a point of me even saying anything. When people don't want to see the truth, they will literally stay blind to everything. So this is the reason why I really don't say anything, and the reason why I don't speak up about things. Like, it was back in October of last year when I stopped talking to her. Yeah, I just see things for what it is in my family at this point. Like, I really don't want nothing to do with nobody, and I really just, like, I'm ready to be moved, but I just know, I don't know, I don't want to doubt God, but my faith really has been in and out for real. Like God's people go through a lot of suffering, and it make it seem like evil people that does evil and have bad intentions and motives, and it makes it seem like they the one that God is basically liking, or it make it seem like they're God's people when they're not. It's a wicked world, and a lot of evil get basically promoted in life. They like move in life, like, yeah, that's how it is. But in actuality, it's the devil's people. I don't want to say that. It's not nice to say, but it is the truth for real, because the devil does give gifts, and a lot of people that are evil or have bad intentions usually think it's God, but it's not. It comes from the enemy. But yeah, that's another story. But yeah, it's God's people that have to go through the fire, basically have to think about what they did in life, have to mature, and like about those things, like all the traumatic things that you really didn't heal through in life, you never showed it or whatever, you usually heal later, or whenever you start your journey with God, he brings it all up. Yeah, so I'm like I healed a whole year before I even told my truth. Like, this is my side of my testimony of what I've been through throughout my whole entire life. So yeah, I know God has been wanting me to tell my testimony for a while now. It's been like almost 2 years now, I want to say, really, because this is what I know, 2025 is when I started to tell my truth, and this year, so like a year and a half. Yeah, so yeah, that's my story, my life story. I've been through a lot. I've been drugged. I've been abused. I've been projected on my whole life. Like, what else? Abandoned. Let down. Taken advantage of. Used. Etc. Like, you would never would have known that I've been through anything at this point. You would have thought that I was the spoiled child, or I did have this great relationship with my parents, or I did have this, I did have that, or whatever. But in actuality, you're wrong. Always been wrong about me. Mind you, this is what the family think. So, yeah. I've been through so much. So much.
Just felt like I always had to beg for everything. This is why I had worked so hard to give myself everything. Even down to my parents when I was younger, just had trouble of doing things for me. But now I'm getting everything that I basically missed in my life.
But yeah. This is going to be a long video. I can tell. Stuff, keep on messages and stuff. TikTok messages. But yeah, I don't know if I left anything out. If I did, I'll probably just add it in a video or whatever. But I've been through so much in my life. Encountered everything, almost everything. At this point, I'm really ready for what God has for me. Like, I want what I've been wanting my whole entire life. Like, I felt like I had to fight for the simple things in life. Like, all I wanted was the simple thing. That's it for this video. I hope that you liked it. As you could tell, that I'm not nearly perfect, not trying to be. Yeah, I almost feel like he has nothing planned, because like, I've been waiting my whole entire life from a child. Like, I've been wanting to get away since I was a child. So me wanting things, the same things as a child, it just seemed like God is not capable of doing that. I don't know. I guess we will see. It almost seems like the enemy be working harder. Like, the enemy, I get that. I ain't gonna get into that, because it's it for this video. I hope that you liked it, and let me know if you got the things throughout your life, the things that you've been through, or, you know, how did your life go? What did you have to deal with? What are some of the things that you dealt with? What did you overcome? Like, yeah, like, being on your journey, if you started your relationship with God, like, what did he get you through? Like, all the things that you couldn't do without him. Like, what are some of the stuff that he got you through? And yeah, it is currently 5:00 a.m. So yeah, I am ready to go to bed. Like, mind you, I haven't been to bed yet, so yeah, I'm ready to go. I had to get this recording out because God has been pressuring me. God has been pressuring me to do it, and like I said, I've waited a whole year to basically do this. I've been, I'm gonna say, not scared, but then again, I was, because it's my own truth. I never really told nobody besides my mother. Yeah. I just hope things like start to like level up and get better, because I deserve it. I damn sure deserve it. Yeah. Well, alright, you guys. Yeah. Alright, bye.
It's a couple things that I had left out, but I did used to go to the strip club. I loved the strip club at one point, and I did used to curse and talk outside of my neck at times at God, because I couldn't figure out why I was going through so much, sowing good seeds while having pure intentions and good motives. I really couldn't understand why, but I definitely got conviction afterwards. I was so mad at God when I should have been mad at myself for keep on making the same mistakes I was making. So me learning from all my mistakes in the past, the younger me molded me into the person that God was calling me to be this whole time. Some people are being caught because of all the suffering they've been through in their life, living in this world that was built against them. These are people that are actually set apart, who didn't get molded into being evil. The heart continues to stay pure, and some may just still need healing to overcome things. Some people don't change for the world. They just learn to live in it while going through things with God. Anointing comes with suffering. It says it all through the Bible. It's like walking around with a target on your back for doing good in a wicked world. But through it all, God kept me. I smiled while hurting. I gave while lacking. I helped people while needing help myself. I stayed kind while being treated badly. Not because I was perfect, but because God kept something in my heart from turning cold. Looking back, I can see it clearly. Some of my actions were trauma responses. Some were immaturity. Some were pride. Some were pain. Some were me trying to fill voids in the wrong way. But God delivered me from toxic relationships, violence and retaliation, sexual brokenness, revenge, cheating, and games, escaping through substances, believing lies about myself, carrying generational trauma and baggage that don't belong to me, people pleasing and overgiving and numbness. God didn't call me because I was perfect. He's perfecting me through what I went through. I learned that unhealed trauma gets passed down until someone chooses to heal. I learned you can love people and still keep distance. I learned giving without discernment drains you. I learned pain doesn't excuse behavior, but it explains growth. I learned accountability is part of healing. I'm thankful God didn't leave me where I was. I'm thankful I didn't become bitter. I'm thankful I can see my mistakes clearly now. I'm thankful for conviction, growth, and understanding. I'm thankful that even through suffering, my heart didn't turn cold. God delivered me from the old me, and I'm still healing, still growing, and still grateful.